mentioned earlier about like that you were working with PTSD and Army veterans.
Yeah.
That had amputations. Can you tell us a
Right.
little bit about that?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
So I've worked with a lot of military around the world, actually, not just in the U.S. And what fascinated me about them, and this would be typical, they most often had lower back pains, neck pain, shoulder pain. So that means spinal column. That was usually carrying heavy rucksacks or jumping out of airplanes, if that's what they did, etc., or being in the field for long periods of time. But I had a rare opportunity to go to Colombia and work with some of the military there. And I went to the hospital, and many of the military soldiers had the lower part of their leg blown off because they stepped on landmines, because they were fighting against the guerrillas there. And it fascinated me because I had to figure out, can they tremor, first of all, okay? Because we use our legs in the process. But it was very easy. We got them to tremor without any difficulty at all, because they could still use one leg and half of their leg and still lift their pelvis up. But what the trick was is that they had to stay there for a longer period of time. So I had them get on their phones as a way of distracting them.
Okay.
This was funny. Get on your phone and call somebody up and tell them the position that your body is in right now. Okay? So that gave me enough time to stress their structure enough that I could see they started to shake. So then when they put their pelvis down and they started to close their knees, because they still had a psoas muscle, okay? And so they could close the knees, and they did, and they started tremoring. And they got very good tremors. I have videos of this.
Okay.
But the most fascinating piece was when I asked them at the end, I said, well, what was it like for you? Did you find it helpful or anything? And we know the phrase and the medical experience of what's called phantom limb pain,
Okay.
which is where a person still feels like their part of their leg is still there, even though it's been amputated. They still feel it. Well, they had phantom limb pleasure, which they said they could feel like their leg was back.
Wow.
That they actually had their legs still. So it tells you, again, the nervous system. Now we're talking about energy fields in the body too, but medical science has already validated that that's true, that we give off an energetic field from our body. That's a field of physics mixing with medicine. And so they could actually feel kind of an energetic field that made them feel like their leg was back. But what it said was that stimulating this shaking mechanism is producing the pleasure of restoring a healthy, energetic field in the body. It was fascinating.